been a while since I posted any videos up on this freaking YouTube channel, and I apologize for that. I've been very hectic in my personal life. I've had a lot of family issues, and just, it's the summer and I don't really feel like I need to be working, and so I'm pretty much just lounge around here and watch just movies and don't post anything, or I would rather just go work and hang out with friends. So sorry about all that, but today I want to introduce a new segment to this entire channel, and it's called Weekend 3-Pack. And so I actually got this idea from the movie Jean-Luc Godard's Weekend from 1967, which we'll talk about in a second. So I got this idea of maybe having this 3-pack film where each of these films I have not seen, and I've watched them all over the weekend, and I want to do this as a recap every single week, and hopefully this is a mainstay. This is something that I've just thought about, and so I got the idea from the movie, which we'll talk about in a second. So I am really excited to talk about 3 different films. This is 3 of these movies are actually a part of my 100 Years of Movies series that I might be discussing these movies again. So that's probably coming up in this next video in a couple weeks when I start watching all of my movies from the 1960s up to like 72, I believe. So don't quote me on that, but I'm really looking forward to the 100 Years of Movies series here. So let's get into this. Let's get into this 3-pack. I want to talk about Jean-Luc Godard's Weekend. So this is the one that started off this entire 3-pack of movies. I got this up a month ago about when I went up to Kansas. I worked at the 4th of July. I worked with a friend, and so I got this at Half Price Books. It was a really good deal, and I was really interested in this because I have never seen a Godard film, and I really want to see Breathless and all of the other films he's made. But I know he is a French director who is an auteur during the 19s, like the new wave of French, the French New Wave, that's what it's called. Can't think of the words, but I was really intrigued by this, and I didn't realize how surreal and how postmodern this movie would be. And also I realized that I guess this is one of the tail ends of Godard's career. I need to look more into that maybe, but this is a symbolism of what the end of society could potentially look like with capitalism, because I know that Godard is more of a Marxist and really not a fan of capitalism and all the things that it's done in the world. I'm going to leave politics out of this. I'm just going to talk about the movie. So let's hear about Jean-Luc Godard's film. So I was really intrigued by the premise of this movie. It's pretty much this couple who is going to get a family fortune, or let me look at this. I want to look at this. Yeah, an inheritance from a dead relative. So right near the opening shot, you kind of get a really crazy understanding of what this couple is. They're just really weird, I want to say. They started talking about a sexual encounter that the wife had, and I was like, just really like, this is in really graphic detail. And then it just shifts to them trying to go off to get this inheritance, and then society is collapsing around them. There's this really amazing tracking shot near the beginning where it just shows all this really long traffic jam, and just eventually you start seeing crazier and crazier things, like cars on fire, people murdered, all these things, people going crazy and just pretty much just destroying each other. And so there's a lot of social satire in this film, and I need to watch it again. Honestly, it was kind of a chore to sit through, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. I would probably give this movie maybe a 2 out of 5, a 2.5. I need to watch it again and honestly be in the right mindset to watch this movie again. But I really enjoyed this nonetheless. I think in the future I might appreciate this more if I really appreciate Godard's film. So let's move on to another legendary director and another Criterion, Ingmar Bergman's Persona from 1966. This movie is one of the most legendary films from Ingmar Bergman. Speaking of Ingmar Bergman, I'm really excited for that Criterion 39 film box set, which I'm going to have to sell you, unfortunately, to get that, but that's fine. I'm really excited for that, but I saw Persona for the first time, and I didn't realize, speaking of another like kind of surreal film, this is one of those art house films that Bergman made, and it was just based on these 2 women, one of them who was a nurse. So this nurse is actually taking care of the stage actor who's gone mute, more or less, and so this nurse and her are kind of exchanging discussions with each other, except though obviously the one who is mute is not, and so she's just listening to what the nurse is saying, and the roles start flipping and flopping, and you don't really know what's going on, and I'm not really going to give too much away because it's something you need to experience. It's actually a pretty short film at 83 minutes. I really appreciated this movie. It's all in Swedish, The last movie was in French, and so I would say if you are into subtitles, definitely check out Persona. This is definitely one of the, like the ending of this film is like, just, I mean, it gets to the bottom of what our personalities can become and who we can become with other people, and the blurred lines there and all of that, and I may have said too much. So Persona, definitely check this movie out. It's really good. I love this box set as well. It has a nice 2 DVD cover and a Blu-ray, and then it has this really awesome shot from the film, which is one of the best shots from the film. And I'm saying too much, so let's talk about the third film and final one from Japan, The Sword of Doom. I watched this movie. It's Kihachi Okamoto's Sword of Doom, and so you have Toshiro Mifune, who is that legendary samurai who is in almost all of Akira Kurosawa's film. Coming is pretty much a rival to this crazy maniac, Tatsuya Nakadai. Yeah, I'm going to say that right. Tatsuya Nakadai. This man who is at this dojo, who is in this particular art school, this, you know, sword art school, who, you see the descent of madness. As he kills ruthlessly throughout the entire movie, he does terrible acts like rape and murder, and just is constantly like, has like a lust for blood and mayhem, and it culminates into a very insane ending with an amazing sword fight. And there's amazing sword fights throughout this entire thing, but Toshiro Mifune also plays like a major role in this movie as pretty much his opposite, and I really love the dynamic of this movie and how just crazy it is and how mad it is. And you don't really see films like this, at least in the samurai genre, where it pretty much just shows you what evil is and worships it like that. So these are the 3 films that I started off with this weekend 3-pack. I had Weekend, I had Persona, and I had Sword of Doom. Each film's from different areas of the world. They're all Criterions. That's pretty cool. So some France, Sweden, and Japan. I'm really excited to talk about different films from different areas of the world, and also at the same time talk about things maybe not outside of Criterion. But I want to hear your thoughts on the 3 films that I watched down below. I haven't really talked too much about it. If I gave every one of them a score, I would say Weekend is a 2.5 out of 5. I would say that Persona is a near 4.5 out of 5. And I would give Sword of Doom a 4 out of 5 myself. I really love all these movies, and I liked Weekend alright. It gave me the idea for this entire segment. So, I gotta like it a little bit. I want to hear your thoughts down below. Give me some suggestions maybe, so I can maybe watch some things for the first time for this 3-pack, this Weekend 3-pack. So I really appreciate all of the support, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.